sister. I'm just gonna take this Skype call. Hello. I think I missed the call. It takes time for me to find this. Oh, hello. Hello,
Yes.
sir. Sir, are you giving permission to be recorded on this live stream?
Yes, it's okay.
Okay. Can you tell us who you are, and can you just tell us what do you think about hadith which we are reading?
It's ultimate truth.
Sorry?
Did you hear me? This is ultimate truth.
Sir, what's your name?
Ultimate truth.
Okay. Ultimate truth. What do you think about this hadith?
Yeah, first of all, you started saying that the hadith, the Arabic text and the translation was different. And then you called the sister, I mean the lady, for her to show the difference between the original and the translation, but you never gave her a chance. Really tell people what was the difference between the translation and the original text. That's the first. I was surprised that you called her for that, but she never mentioned any difference between the two. That's the first thing that how I was surprised by it.
Can I respond? Can I respond?
Can I just finish? I mean, I've been listening to you guys. Just let me make my point.
Sir,
and then
that was your first point. So let us respond to your first point.
And then you can make your second point.
First respond to the first point, and then we will give him chance for the second point.
Do you know who am I talking to the second point? Just let me make my point so she can answer. Simple as that. I mean, she can take a note and anything. I mean,
no, we won't ignore it. We won't ignore it.
Okay, guys, order. Sir, you made your first point. We will be responding your first point, and then we will give you chance for your second point. Okay, sister.
Who told you that I can be able that I can be on the phone longer like that?
Sorry?
Can you just let me make my point? You don't have to cut me off. Just respect people, you Christians. Let me make my points. Sir, she can answer. You don't know if I can stay on the phone or not.
Sir, I'm gonna give you time for your second point.
You're listening. Let us make our point and go. It ain't gonna take me no 2 minutes.
No, sir. No, sir. I'm gonna give chance to our Arabic speaker to respond to your first point, and then I will give you chance for your second point. Yes, sister. Can you please respond to
that was for you. That was not for her. That was for you to let her explain. You did not let her explain what's the difference between the two.
Sister, can
you cut off,
sir?
And then you went back to Goodwin.
Sir?
That was not for her. I was talking to you. I wasn't talking to her because as soon as you gave her,
sir, I'm
just saying.
I am trying to put order in this live stream,
so for you to respond.
and it is not helping, and you are not helping. Sister, can you just tell us what is the difference? Can you just respond to the point which was made?
The reason I haven't said it is because it's very bad in the Arabic. Can you see this here? Can you see this here? حتى يذوق عسيل من عسيلتك. It says in the translation, unless Abdul Rahman has had sexual intercourse with you. What it actually means in the Arabic is until he has tasted your honey. That's what it means. The translator here is being very decent. The Arabic is very indecent.
It doesn't.
Right here.
But it's Arabic. That's how people speak.
No, it's not. It's not. It's not. Shall I tell you another one? Right here. Right here. Right here. Right here.
You said it.
Right here. Inni la anfudhaha nafdal adim. Here. It says in the English, I am very strong and can satisfy her. In the Arabic, it says, I really shake her very hard shaking.
Okay, so
what do you this is the difference. The English is very PG, it's very decent. The Arabic is very indecent. The reason is because they are trying to hide how indecent this language is. That's why I'm here to show. And I didn't say it because of my faith. I couldn't say it, but I can confirm that it's a similar meaning, but the literal meaning is much more concerning. It is much more horrible. language to be said around the Prophet of Allah.
Okay. So sir, can you make your second point, please?
Now, let's get this clear first. So she agrees with me that she never had a chance to show the difference between the two, right?
We hadn't finished the live stream yet, sir. You came in the middle. We hadn't finished yet.
You should have started with that.
But I've showed you. So what do you have to say about what?
Just a moment. Can I just point out something here? Sir, just a moment. I want to point out something here. I would expect you simply say, thank you for not pronouncing those words and just saying, yes, there is a differences, and not exposing Islam for the languages it is used. But I'm just, as I heard you're laughing, I'm just thinking, yeah, that's funny thing. So that's just says a lot about.
And can I say, sister, that gentleman just said, you Christians? We're being very respectful to you, and you're coming and saying you Christians are not doing this and not doing that. Why is that the case, sir? Why can't you respect us?
That's fine. We are not going to go to the personal things. Let's get the second point.
If the woman is giving, see, I'm trying to talk and she's cutting me. You ask me a question, I'm trying to talk, and Harun is cutting me off, and you're the one that asked me a question.
You off. She let you tell your point, and you're still here with us. She could have put the phone down on you, but she didn't.
Okay,
so
sister.
Your point.
It doesn't.
We don't need to go through that. Sir, can you make your second point, please?
No, she asked me a question. Just let me answer her first, please.
Sure.
See, that's what people expect. It's a woman that asked me a question, and you wanted me to just throw away her question, and then.
No, you are disrespectful by saying you're Christians. So are you going to apologize for that, sir?
I mean, you be making fun. All you do is go through the Quran, and you got your book, and you even don't know what's going on in your book. We don't go to your book.
Shall I tell you why?
Sister, talking about Christianity.
Sister, just a moment. Sister,
we don't just go talking about Christianity.
Sister, just a moment.
Have you ever seen us talking about Christianity? Just gathering people,
sister,
just talking about the Bible? We don't do that.
Sir, I'm gonna keep it very simple,
talk about Islam.
and I'm giving you chance to make your second point. If you are not gonna make your second point,
okay,
and you cannot treat my guest like you would treat your wife or your kids.
Boss.
Okay, so
yes, boss. Yes, boss.
I'm not your boss, sir. So please make your second point regarding the hadith. Thank you.
Yeah, sorry to the Arabic lady that I couldn't respond to you. I gotta go by what Harun said to do. All right. My second point is, when you mentioned the greenness of the lady, it was so green. It was like you insisted on the color of the greenness. You said it was so green that it looked like the clothes she was wearing.
Yeah.
Do you know how green was? Do you know how green was the clothes she was wearing?
Okay. Shall we respond?
Can you tell me that there was dark green or light green or whatever green? Do you know is described in the hadith?
Shall I respond? Shall I respond? Shall I respond?
Let me finish.
Yes, sister. Please respond to the second point. Thank you.
The word here, ashad. The word here.
So now, where's the respect?
Hello. Hello. The word here, ashad.
I mean, what?
Ashad here means sir. The word here, ashad, means severe. The word here, ashad, means severe. The next word, it means green. The literal translation is severe greenness, and it's describing her skin. Do you know any Arabic? If you know any Arabic to discredit me, then please do. Or if you know any sheikhs that would disagree with this, Arab-speaking sheikhs, the word ashad and the word khudra, which means severe green. So I wasn't there, but it's describing the severity of the greenness.
I mean, does it matter how green it was, sir? Whether it was a light green or dark green? I mean, how would you have responded if, say, I'm not sure if you're married and you've got a daughter, and she comes back to you, and she seeks your advice or counseling about a green bruise caused by a husband? How would you have responded?
I'm not here to. I'm here to ask question. I was making points. You're gonna cut me off, taking me somewhere else. I'm gonna ask. I'm gonna point out, the falseness of what you're saying. I'm gonna point it out first, I started with 2 points. I got 3 more points to go, you know, because I showed that first you guys avoided saying something. You said you was going to do it. You didn't do it. You agreed that yes, you didn't do it. She said it. She said, yes, I didn't do because the wording was bad or something. So then so then why she asked me to do so? Then he said, no, I didn't finish it.
We're doing it right now. We're doing it right now, and it's making you look worse.
So please make your third point.
That's lying. You don't need to lie.
Sir, please.
No lying.
You didn't finish yet, or the vocabulary was bad, or the wording was bad. Then you can avoid it. But you can first say, oh, because it was bad talk, and then you said I didn't.
So what is the difference? What difference are you making in the green? Why would that have made a difference to you?
Hello?
Saying, we just need to be, good faith is good. The whole world can tell right now that you are bad faith.
Because we're reading your hadith, because we're reading a sahih hadith. We're trying to discover Islam, right? So we can be converted if it's correct. So we're being bad faiths and we're reading this.
No.
We're reading this. How can you defend this, sir? How can you defend this?
I got 2 more. I got 3 more points to make, but
you're trying to look at you defending it because you think it's the truth. Does this look like the truth to you?
You don't have to ask me a question. Let me make my points.
Okay, so
we'll be here all night with your points. Your points are talking about how green is does it matter how green is the skin? We're talking about a battered woman. A battered woman, sir. You're worried about the skin.
You knew how dark was the color of the clothes.
I just told you, sir. I just told you. In the Arabic, it says severe greenness. Do you need anything more to know about this?
Or on her.
Severe.
Not the clothing, but you insisted on the clothing. You said, wait, look, it was so green.
Sir, it says skin.
I am struggling. Sister, just a moment. Sir, I'm struggling to have a conversation with someone who is just standing on the other side of the Skype and trying to defend and try to be okay for a woman who is being beaten and she has bruises, and you are just trying to justify that. So I am asking you, I think second time or third time, can you please make your third point?
Okay, I will. After I fix the lie that you said she had bruises, and it's not a hadith. She had 1 bruise. You said bruises. You see how you're lying? You said she had bruises. Now
I am sorry, Sahih Bukhari is lying to us, while Sahih Bukhari says her skin is greener than her dress.
Stop lying. Was it bruises or was it 1 bruise? 1 dot.
Her skin is greener than her clothes.
But
her
lying,
skin
though,
is
right?
greener.
Does it matter, sir? Does it matter if it's 1 bruise or many? The woman has been beaten.
Yes, because you can hold somebody and then with a finger being on their skin and then having a bruise.
So why does Aisha say, I have not seen any woman suffering as much as the believing woman?
It's different. I'm just saying.
Why does Aisha say that if it's you hold her?
Don't say bruises.
Sir.
Okay.
No.
Okay, sir.
That's what I asked. Don't lie.
You're not lying. You're not lying.
Okay, sister, just a moment. Sister, just a moment. Sir, this is last chance I'm giving to you. You've been on the live for 13 minutes, 39 seconds. Are you going to make your third point?
My third point is,
yes.
My third point is, when the lady first came, she showed Aisha a bruise. A bruise, not bruises. Showed Aisha a bruise. Aisha responded by saying, I've never seen the believers as a woman, going through such a thing. Aisha didn't even know what's going on, right? Nobody knew what's going on till the husband shows up. Nobody knew that she wanted to go back to her ex-husband, right? Right? So, she mentioned it.
So Aisha was lying, sir. Aisha was lying.
Sister, just a moment.
You mentioned it yourself. You said nobody knew really what was going on until the guy, when the husband shows up, that's when they know that she wanted to go to her ex-husband, right? Right?
What's your point?
That is the reason she got those greens. That is the reason she got her green skin, because she wants to go back to her husband.
Do you see this in the English, sir?
Her husband has not been nice to her. Okay?
Yeah, both by beating.
No, not nice. Not being able to satisfy is not being nice.
Sir,
see, the reality was that she was not satisfied sexually.
What I am assuming is you are struggling with English. Okay? So if you see, if you are seeing the Arabic text, seeing the screen, in English text, it says her skin, sister, can you just move a little bit side? Her skin caused by beating. Green spot on her skin caused by beating. So since I am assuming that you are struggling with the English, we are going to show that to you in Arabic. Sister, can you move to the Arabic side and then show us the reason before husband comes that they are talking about why those greens. And also, sir, I want you to also tell us what does it tell you about your lovely prophet.
Right here.
Can I say something? Okay, just my question, just one at a time. If I cannot have two of you, if I cannot ask two questions, the two of you cannot be asking me two questions, right? You said go one at a time. So I talk to, I can just ask a question. Let me answer before. I know you want to jump in. Let me speak, right? Let's make it fair. If I cannot ask two questions, I got to have one at a time. So one at a time to you.
We're waiting, sir.
See?
We're waiting.
All right. Okay. Here is this hadith. What this hadith is about. Muslims can have up to. I mean, can divorce their. They're allowed to divorce their husbands, or the husband divorce the woman. If you divorce three times, then that's it. You cannot remarry her again. You cannot. What happened here? The first husband divorced 3 times. The second husband married her. Now, until they had sex, the marriage had to be consumed. Until they have sex, then you cannot go back to your. You can ask for divorce to go back to your ex-husband. Muhammad is telling her, anyway, you cannot go back anyway, because you have to consume the marriage. That's what it means. Consume, having sex, or is consuming the marriage before you be able to go back to your ex-husband.
Okay, can I respond? Can I respond, sir?
Sister, just a moment.
Can I finish? You see,
you're taking. We're not here for lectures. This is not a lecture. This is a conversation.
Sister, just a moment. Sir, can you finish your point, please?
Yes, if you let me. If you're gonna cut me off, she talking about being not being rude, you know. Yes, you're gonna do that to to get me out of the field of my thought. Let me, anybody got a field of thoughts. Let them speak, please. You know what it is. So basically, the woman get out of the house, said, "No, I want to divorce." The husband held her. One of her fingers, the fingerprint, pushed in her body, in her skin, it was a bruise. That's the one bruise they're talking about. Of a size of a fingerprint was on her. That's what you call beating, and that's you call somebody who said, "I'm not sexually." Even the Arab lady admitted it. If you see, Muhammad didn't jump on it because Muhammad knows what's going on. The hadith is longer than that. You brought the shorter version of the hadith. So the hadith is way longer than that. It says the woman did not want to be in with her husband. She just wanted to go back to her ex-husband. She was using the second husband because another husband, I have to marry her for her to be able to go back to her ex-husband.
Okay, but so now, sir,
they're gonna have to conceal the marriage.
I'm just gonna respond. I'm just gonna respond to points.
You're lying to people. You're making up lies.
Made,
and no need. Bring the whole version of the hadith and put it up there.
Okay, we heard your point. We're gonna move on.
Brother, just a moment. I just need to figure out how I mute this guy. So I'm trying to find the ways to mute you, and currently I can't see that way. Therefore, I am asking you gently. Okay. Now wait. Thank you. So, Sister, I'm just going to make a comment and then I'll pass it to you, okay? Surah 230. Allah gives a solution. What happens when husband divorced the wife? Okay? And if he has divorced her, then she's not lawful to him afterward until she marries a husband other than him. And if he divorces her, there is no blame upon them for returning to each other. If they think they can keep the limits of Allah. Those are the limits of Allah, which he makes clear to a people who know. If man divorce you, in the parenthesis for the third time, and then man wake up in the morning and then say, uh-oh, I don't have my breakfast. Where is wife who is going to bring the breakfast? Wife is not there. He can't go and take flowers, chocolates to wife and apologize. Reconciliation cannot take place. Therefore, Allah gives the solution. Allah gives the solution. Allah says, only way you can go back to your husband, you need to go and sleep with someone else. So that's the first point. Allah's divine revelation for husband and wife to reconcile is wife needs to go and sleep with someone else. After that sex, after this new couple have a sex, man divorces woman and then she goes back to her first husband. That is disgusting. It is called consuming that. Sir, I haven't finished yet. Sir, I haven't finished yet. So that is disgusting. That's the first point. Second point. I am very disappointed by Allah. That is the solution Allah is giving. I am very disappointed by Muhammad that he's encouraging people to practice that. And you accused us to not show you the full hadith. I am sorry that it's not only your English, but it looks like you've got problem with your eyes as well. Because if you look at the screen, you will see the full hadith in Arabic and in English. That is the full hadith. And according to hadith, Aisha already recognized that her skin, she's got bruises because she got beaten. Aisha compares this woman with rest of the women in Arabia, with the pagans, with the Jews, with the Christians, and then says, I never seen believing woman is suffering like this. That's your mother of your believers are testifying. That's not enough. This hadith doesn't say, oh, husband just pulled her as she was leaving the house. It doesn't even apply that, because she is already saying, this man cannot satisfy me because of the ways he's having sex with me. She's already saying, I am not happy what is happening. It doesn't look like that was just someone just hold you from your arm, therefore you got bruises. If that was the case, mother of the believers wouldn't say, I have not seen any woman suffering as much as the believing woman. Aisha would recognize, oh, that probably happened by accident. But that's not the case. I am sorry, it looks like you are watching too much movie. But according to Sahih Bukhari, the movie you are watching is not good movie. Sahih Bukhari gives you what happened. So, sister, do you want to just make a couple of comments for the...
Yeah. Notice that he talked about holding and the finger came on the skin, and a very sort of convoluted way of trying to describe this. Beating, right here, caused by beating. Green skin caused by beating, like you said, sister. And it prompted the mother of the believers to say, I have not seen any woman suffering as much as the believing women. He's trying to say that this hadith is about when you divorce 3 times, you can't go back to your husband. First of all, who made that rule, that silly, disgusting rule? Whose fault? Who gives the divorce? The husband gives the divorce. It's his fault if he divorces her 3 times. So why is it that the wife has to pay now by going to sleep with some strange man to be able to reconcile with her family, with her husband again? The woman. So even if he's right, that's a disgusting wrong rule that pushed her now to be in this situation, because she can't go back to her first husband unless she sleeps with a man who's beating her and who's a stranger, basically. Even though it was the first husband's fault that divorced her. It's the men who give divorce in the Islam, not the women. And it's the woman who has to pay for it by prostituting herself to a second husband, she doesn't even want to be with him. But you know, she can't say no to the sex because she has to get out of the marriage. And he's out here defending this, saying the finger came on the arm and it pressed it, and he held her, and then she came, and it was actually about the going back to the first husband. It doesn't say that, sir. And your hadith speaks against you. I'm sorry.
Also,
yes.
Just a minute, sir.
Just a moment. I'm gonna give Godwin time to speak. Godwin.
Yeah, just notice again. If you Muhammad,
tell me now you got one and one.
Also failing.
Godwin, right? Godwin, just a moment, right. Sir. Right. I don't know how to mute your mic. Okay. Therefore, only my option will be hang up. I don't want to hang up. I'm gonna give Godwin chance, and I'm gonna give you chance to respond. Okay. So Godwin.
But refusing me to make 2 points though.
So write them down and then respond after Godwin makes his point. Thank you.
I'm asking you.
So Godwin, make your point, brother.
Right. So again, just like we were speaking about earlier in terms of Muhammad, this is reported to him by Aisha.
The good one.
And obviously this is a complaint about this is what's going on in that, during that period where Islamic women are being, persecuted, tormented in that way. And notice this Muslim friend, he comes on, and all he seems to be doing is justifying or making excuses rather than looking at the fact that, or addressing or dealing with the fact that this woman has been beaten, has suffered physical violence from someone who's supposed to be a spouse. And all we've heard so far, we haven't heard him say, okay, you know what, this was wrong, or this was something that I wouldn't do myself, having a wife or having daughters. All they're doing is just like Muhammad, it's just taking the narrative of the man. And this is what the problem we have with this ideology. But then again, also look just like Muhammad said, I mean, it makes it even worse, the fact that he's sending this woman back to have sex with a man she doesn't want to have sex with. Because in our world, if somebody is forced to have sex with somebody they don't want to, that's called rape. Regardless of whether you're in marriage or you're not. So the whole situation is very ugly, very messy, and I don't know why this guy is trying to defend, rather than defend the woman, the one who's been physically attacked. He's trying to defend Muhammad.
Okay, sir, are you also watching us through YouTube? If that is the case, can you make sure your YouTube is muted so that people don't get echo when you speak? You can hear us through Skype. Then I'm going to give you time to respond if you want to respond, sir.
Was my YouTube ever on the thing? I've been speaking, you said, for 13 minutes. Did you hear my YouTube?
I don't know, sir. I just received a message. There is an echo on YouTube. Therefore, I am asking if your YouTube is on, make sure it is muted. If it is not on, that's absolutely fine, sir. Please make your point now.
Okay, my point is, I got to come back first to my first point. And 3 of you talk, right? I got to respond to all 3 of you. You got to give me time to respond to all 3 of you and make another point that I was making. The fourth point that I was making is another lie again that you lied, and the lady let you. She was quiet. She let you speak. You said she need witnesses. You said she need witnesses. I know you, all of you, Christian Christian, all of you are saying that if a woman got raped or something like that, she needs witnesses that she had sex with this one. The witness is for the fornicators. If you accuse a woman of fornicating, then you need a witness. It is protecting the woman. But if a woman is raped, she does not need a witness. You see how you're twisting things? The witnessing is to protect the woman. If she got caught fornicating, they said you need 4 witnesses before we do anything to her. See, with that, she is getting protected. But if she accuses anybody of rape, nobody needs a witness. See, you are twisting things. You insisted. She was quiet. She tried to stop you. She tried to stop you, but you just went on and gone on and on and on. I can tell she's trying to talk, but you wouldn't let her talk. You making fun of that. That's the first thing I would like to address. The second thing I'm addressing is when she said, what was the first point again? She said, I was trying to write it down since all 3 of you spoke. She said, what was it? Can you please, the Arabic lady, can you come back to your point at first? See, that's why I couldn't write it down. All 3 of you spoke. Can you please come back to your point so I can address it? Is she listening to me? Is she here?
We're waiting for you to finish your point, sir.
No. I made my 5th point. Now, let me start. I can't listen to him. So let me start with Goodwin. She said, the first thing the prophet, at first he said, to you first. You said, whatever the rule is, it's a nasty rule. That nobody should force anybody to go have sex with someone before they remarry their husband. Right? That's what you said. Islam is clear. You can live with your wife as long as you want. Don't divorce her 3 times. If you divorce her 3 times, you cannot remarry her unless somebody else marry her. It's not about having sex. It's about you translating the word muta into when I said fantihu, you translate it as having sex. It's marrying. If you divorce 3 times, you cannot. Why are you divorcing 3 times? Why? You get 1, okay, you go. You can remarry her again. You get 2. You guys don't even give 1. If you divorce somebody 1 time, it's divorce, right? Right? Christians, you can't even divorce, right? And now you said it's nasty. Christianity don't even show divorce, right? And no divorcing. If you divorce 1 time, if you remarry her, it's not Christian. It's not religious. So we're giving you 3 times here. And you say, oh, it's still bad. If you want to go back, you can even go back after 1. We can go back after 3, after 2, and have a 2 marriage. Let me finish. Let me just finish. In Christianity, when you divorce Christian religiously, you can remarry her, in the civil way, but religiously, it's not a marriage. We know. Islamically, it is a marriage. Do it 1st, 2nd, but the 3rd time, you're going to have to remarry somebody else before you come back. Now, some people are abusing it. Okay, you still love your husband. You talk to her and say, okay, let me go remarry Goodwin, and if I marry Goodwin for 1 week or for 1 day, and then I will leave him. Now they're trying to use Goodwin. Now that they're trying to use, the couple is trying to use somebody else. The prophet said, listen, unless you consume the marriage, unless you have sex, you can divorce him. He can divorce you, but you cannot go back to the other guy. You cannot. You can sure get divorced, but I'm telling you, the rule is saying you cannot go back to your ex because this marriage was not consumed because you never had sex with Goodwin. And then you say, no, Goodwin's private part are good, and then that's why Goodwin came up with 2 sons. The private part wasn't good at all. She don't say big or small or anything. No, this wasn't good. It wasn't like standing or wasn't whatever. And then Goodwin is saying, I got 2 kids, and they look just like me. Look, so she just refused to have sex with me. She didn't have sex with me. And the prophet says, this is not going to work. You can divorce her, it's fine, but you cannot remarry her. You, Goodwin, can divorce her without consuming the marriage, but she still cannot go back to her ex-husband. That's the whole purpose of this hadith that you're trying to twist. That's the whole purpose. This hadith is telling you, don't be using other people. Now the couple is being malicious here, and you're protecting them. And then the other thing, she talked about from beating. No, from beating is from Aisha, and it's in parentheses. From beating is, she never said she got beaten. The woman never said nowhere in the hadith that she got beaten. Nowhere in the hadith. Now here again, you're lying. You are making up things, saying that she said that she was beaten. She never said that. She came, she saw the bruise. That's it. Aisha is the one that said she, and even not Aisha. It was in parentheses. It was in brackets that she got beaten from beatings. There's a bracket right there. So don't invent. Don't assume anything. If my sister come to my house with a bruise and telling me and never said nothing, and I saw it or she saw it to me, I will ask her, where this is coming from? And wait for an answer. I'm not going to say, oh, she got beaten. That's what they're trying to make Aisha say. No, Aisha wouldn't say that. If you see some bruise, wait till they tell you. They're the one that know what happened. This didn't happen in Muhammad's house. It happened in their house. Ask them what happened, they will tell you. Now, if it's from beatings, yes, then you can condemn. Then you can say, no, there wasn't from beating. They make up their things. That's why the husband said, he swore to Allah, he never did nothing to him, to her. She just wanted to use him to go back to her husband. That's the whole thing. You using a hadith, a wrong hadith for you people. You're using a wrong hadith to try to mislead people. You never spoke about the three wives. You never spoke about the truth. The husband, they wanted to use this guy. They got caught. That's why Muhammad said, listen, I don't care what happened to you. You are playing games, you and your husband. Anyway, you cannot go back to your husband unless you consume a marriage with another man. Right, get the hell out of here. Don't be coming over here playing games. That's all it is about. That's why he didn't react the way you wanted him to react. That's why it's not about beating. That's why you want to misleading people. That's why you would create things. That's why I say Christians are lying. You making up things and you don't understand nothing about things. You bring in an Arabic, somebody who speaks Arabic for no reason, just to lie on people, just to lie in Islam, and no need for that. Peace.
Okay, so let me respond now. I'm not that old, but I would say I spoke lots of Muslims and I have seen lots of things. But first time I'm seeing how Muslims trying to justify this hadith, and I am double heartbroken for that. So here I've got the Quran here. This is Sahih International Translation. Can you please provide the verses for me that John, if there is a rape, then woman does not need to produce 4 witnesses. Please give me the reference for that. I would really appreciate very good communicator Allah to verbalize that. Also, if Allah is verbalizing that, I would be really, really grateful if you just express that to the Muslim countries when women are raped, yet because they don't have the enough witnesses, therefore it's just going nowhere. Even women are ending up in prison. You talked about 3 divorce. I know it is very, very ugly. Allah's solution to marriage. It is husband in Surah 230. I already read it to you. It is husband divorce the woman. It is the woman who must go and sleep around and have a sex. They can't simply see marriage counseling. They can't simply sit down and then discuss their issues. But it is the woman who must go and sleep with someone else. Not sleep, I'm sorry, sex. Have sex with someone else, that she can be halal to her first husband. It is disgusting and it makes me feel sick. And then you talked about hadith doesn't say beating. Please read the hadith. I can't help you with your readings. Hadith was already on the screen. If you can't read the screen, just pick up your Sahih Bukhari hadith and then read it from the hadith. I'm still waiting for you to just explain it to me. Why do you still follow a man called Muhammad while he takes the dignity and value of woman, being okay for woman to be beaten? being okay for woman to have a sex with someone who she doesn't want to have. Why? So, sister, do you want to make a point for the
Yeah.
for the points already made, and then I will pass it to Godwin, and then I will pass it to Muslim speaker.
So he says that the man said, "I have done no wrong." Don't know if you caught that. Again, please read carefully. It's the woman. She said, "By Allah, I have done no wrong to him." It wasn't that he said, "I have done no wrong." And he said also that the bruise, we shouldn't assume that it's because of beating. When Aisha said, "I have not seen any woman suffering as much," and he said that she assumed it was because of the beating, did the woman then speak up and say it wasn't because of my beating? Did she say that? Everybody knew that what's going on is the beating.
What matters is she says,
"Sir,
am I beaten
sir,
or not?"
Sir, this is my last warning to you. I will simply press the red thing and then turn you hang up the phone. Okay? I already told you the order. Sister is gonna respond. Godwin is gonna respond, and I'm gonna pass it to you. Okay, sister, please continue.
What happened? She asked me a question, right?
I didn't ask any question.
When your time comes, right? Sir, when your time comes, you can simply respond to question. So, sister, please continue.
He says that she assumed it was because of the beating, but it wasn't true. Everybody knew what was going on here. She said, "I have not seen any woman suffering." Can you see that word suffering? Suffering, which means it's not a bruise by being held. Look, her skin is greener than her clothes. Everybody, the woman didn't jump in and say, "No, it wasn't because of the beating." And the man didn't jump in and say, "I didn't beat her." Nowhere in the hadith does it say that. Everybody knew what was going on. When the man came to the Prophet to defend himself, he didn't say, I didn't beat her. No, he didn't. He just talked about the sexual stuff straight away. The reason this is in parentheses, the reason that it says caused by beating is in brackets, because the Arabic is very succinct, is very concise, and any Arabic speaker would assume that the greenness is because of beating. So there's no equivalent in the English, so they had to put it in brackets to make sure readers who can read English can understand that there is no doubt that this is the cause of beating. That's why the translator put it there. The translator is a Muslim scholar, and he put "be caused by beating" in brackets to make sure that the meaning is correct. Everybody knew this is because of beating. And then he says, he changes the hadith. Did you catch it? He changes the hadith. He says, the man came and said, "I have done no wrong," when it was actually the woman who was defending herself. She was saying, "I have done no wrong to him." So there was no reason for him to beat her. The woman was defending herself. There was no reason for him to beat her. And he said, it's a marriage, it's not sex. Well, they were already married. If it was just a marriage and not sex for her to go back to her husband, they were already married. Then why couldn't she just go back to her first husband? No, the Prophet was very clear. He said, you must have sex with him. So if she has sex with him tonight, she can leave tomorrow. She doesn't need to stay in the marriage. It's not about a marriage here. It's about the physical act alone. And this woman has to physically give herself to her abuser so she can get out of the marriage and go back to the first husband. And it's the first husband who put her in that position. She's innocent from beginning to end. She wasn't the one who caused the divorce. It was the husband. The husband is always the initiator of the divorce. The woman can't divorce.
Godwin? I'm sorry, sister, have you finished or?
I've finished, thank you.
Okay. Godwin?
Yeah, I mean, there's not really much. I mean, I think you both kind of covered the whole thing. But I think what kind of baffles me and what's just so shocking is the fact that this gentleman, our Muslim friend, has come on the show, and he seems like he turned a blind eye to the main issue, which is the fact that this woman, has been beaten. Aisha is speaking about that. She's confirming that women around the Islamic Peninsula, or the Muslim women are being beaten more than any other religion, and the whole emphasis is that there's this woman is being battered, and there's clearly evidence by bruises to show for this, but it's like this is being sidelined, and it's just trying to find some kind of justification or excuse, and it's like not once has he mentioned, and I'm sure this man might have sisters, or he's got a mother, he's got women who's around him, but not one time has he said, well, hold on, first of all, I just want to just establish that lifting up a hand against a woman is absolutely wrong. No, what he's doing is justifying it and he's reaffirming it, and he's finding reasons and excuses for it, and this is atrocious. That's kind of one of the first things to say. But then again, the solution. I mean, he's saying, oh, Christians, you can't divorce. Yes, of course, the Bible does say that, God does not hates divorce. But I mean, just as a human being, if a situation like this occurs, how would you deal with it? The first thing you do is try to look at ways to resolve it. You try to think of ways to bring peace. I mean, Muhammad is supposed to be this wise, perfect prophet with all the perfect solutions. Why couldn't he have sat them down? Why couldn't he have calmed her? Why couldn't he have thought of resolutions? Why couldn't he bring peace to the situation? If anything, he brought more chaos by telling the woman to go and enter a sexual act which she didn't want to have. So no counseling was involved, no getting both sides of the story was involved, no taking time to kind of speak to both of them and try to find resolutions. There was no form of, it's probably better they didn't go to Muhammad. They would have probably been better going off to settling it within themselves, because Muhammad just made the situation worse. So what I'm just saying is that the whole situation is chaotic, and it just gets more chaotic. And the more this man tries to justify it without looking at what the issue is, that this woman is being battered, it just speaks out volumes about Islam.
Okay, thank you, Daniel. Sir, yes, do you want to make any points?
All right. Let me fix one thing first. In every religion, everywhere, civil law, whether it's England, in the United States, in my country, everywhere in the world, before you marry somebody else, you got a divorce, right? Whether you love them, whether you are still in love, whether whatever, you got a divorce to your first marriage, right? This is everywhere you go. Now, if a woman loves another man, but she's not divorced yet with her first husband. They're not divorced yet. They're still married legally. Now she's trying to go to another judge and say to the judge, I want to marry this guy. The judge will tell him, no, you got to go divorce first. You cannot marry him till you divorce the other guy. Same situation here. Islam saying, before you remarry somebody else, after you marry a guy, after you divorce 3 times, before you remarry him, you're going to have to consume, not just to be married. No, to be married with another guy, you've been given 3 chances. And another chance, you just talk about Surah 24. That says, before you even divorce, you got to go to counseling. You got to discuss your problems. You got to talk between the two of you, even if you need to leave her bed, or she needs to leave the bed, or whoever needs to leave the bed, you need to come up with a solution before you divorce her. Besides all of that, you divorce her 3 times. You love her, she loves you, but either she can ask, we don't know what happened, if she asked for a divorce or if he just divorced her. It's not said in the hadith. But the bottom line is they divorced 3 times. 3 times, the rule is clear. Somebody else have to marry her, and they have to consume the marriage. The law is a law. Don't be talking about having sex with this and that. You couple have chosen to be in that situation. You put yourself in this situation. Nobody put you in that situation. Now you want to use Islam. Now you want to use a guy, an innocent man. You said, okay, can you marry me? The guy said yes. He married you. If the whole village been talking about it. See, that woman, she will find her husband to find a way to go back to her ex-husband. Muhammad heard of that. Everybody heard of it. They knew what was going to happen. Now you come to Muhammad's house. You bring your bruise. You say, okay, I got beaten. The Arabic lady, or whatever her name, she never said her name. I'll call her sister. whether she's Muslim or not. She's my sister. The sister said, she said, no, she never, he never said that, that he never did something wrong. Are you serious? He said she told a lie. She just want to go back. It's in the hadith. She just told a lie. She's lying. I never did anything wrong to her. She just want to go back to her ex-husband. Can you put the hadith back, please? And let me read it. Hassan.
It is on the screen.
Why are you laughing?
Sir, it is on the screen.
Yeah, it's not over here yet. Yes. It says, thank you. It says, she told a lie. She has told a lie. Who said that? She has told a lie. I am very strong and can satisfy her, but she's disobedient and wants to go back to Rita. Come on. The husband denied everything she said, and she even didn't say it really. He just assuming that, oh, that's what she said. She came down there. She even didn't say that she was beaten. Aisha assumed that she was beaten because of the bruise, and the husband assumed that she said that she was beating, and then responded to that and said, I never done anything wrong to her. She told a lie. What is telling a lie means? That she's probably came over here telling you that she was beaten, and I never beaten her. I never have touched her. She just want to go back. And Muhammad know the game. The Prophet know the game. The Prophet said, listen, stop the game. You go back to him, it's fine. But Allah said, the rule is, you're going to have to consume a marriage with another man, whether it's him or somebody else. I don't care. He can divorce you, but you can still go back to her. To him. You're going to have to marry another guy. Now, if you want to go have sex with 1 million men, go ahead. I don't care. But unless you have sex with one of them, you are not going to go back to your husband. The rule is the rule. Whether it's for Muhammad or for Goodwin or for Sheikh or for whoever, the rule is the rule. You divorce 3 times, you took it there. That's you're the one that choose. But like I said, the lady is Arabic. She speaks Arabic. The guy said she told a lie. She's a liar. And she's saying that, no, she's the one saying it. No, that's not her saying it. That's the husband saying it. She. Who is she? Now the husband is a she? That's her. The husband talking about her. She's telling a lie, talking to the Prophet. The Prophet know the game. If it would have been happening the way you said it happened, it's different. Now, the whole thing, the whole scenario have changed now because everybody realizing that you was telling a lie. I am fixing the lie. That was a situation of three times divorce, and they wanted to use that husband to go back to their couple, to their regular life. Muhammad wouldn't let that. Muhammad wouldn't let people being sneaky, trying to play with him, trying to play with the religion, trying to play with Allah. Those are, Allah called them al-munafiq. And if they do that for the only intention of going back, that's not even good. They can remarry, but Allah is not blessing that marriage, because the only reason why they used as a husband is for them to get back together. You can't do that. But Prophet Muhammad cannot refuse them to go back to marriage as long as she married somebody else and going back. That's all that matters. Don't create things, please. Don't lie. The husband said, I never did anything wrong to her. She is lying. She is disobedient. She just want to go back. The whole village know it. It was not like million people living out there. It was a small village. That was 1,400 years ago. It wasn't like today where we have billions. There wasn't billions back there. It's easy to understand. You brought a wrong hadith. You go find there's some bad hadiths out there. Yes, there's a bad hadiths out there. You can bring those, not this one. You brought a wrong one.
Let me respond. It is, you are trying to just justify something.
You want.
Sir, I'm speaking. You are trying to justify that husband and wife cannot just sit down and reconcile the marriage, which they break it up. Only reason that can happen, that wife needs to marry with someone else. It is not the marriage. Wife needs to have sex with someone else. You know better than me, marriage in Islam is not oh, two people wants to share life together, but there must be sex involved. Without sex, that is not marriage. I'm just disappointed that in 21st century, you are trying to justify that. I would love to know where you live. If you live in England, I just need to make sure none of people, especially females, are close to you, because it clearly shows that you are supporting violence towards another human being, let alone woman. It clearly shows you are quite okay for woman to be used as a prostitute, for her to go back to her husband, first husband. Doesn't matter if it is the divine law of Allah. Doesn't matter if the Surah 230 says, my moral standards are much, much, much higher than Allah. And I'm just a sinful human being. But my moral standards are much, much, much better than Allah. My moral standards are much, much better than Muhammad. I can just read this event and then I can see how it's disturbing and disgusting. Yet as a Muslim, you read this event and you try to find the beauty in it. That is just ugly. So regarding your accusations, even though my English is not very good, sir, but I still can read the part in the screen which it is talking about woman said. Okay? Woman said, by Allah, I have done no wrong to him, but he is impotent, and I can't pronounce that word anyway, and he's useless to me as this, holding and showing the fringe of her garment. She's showing the bruises. She's saying, I have done nothing wrong. And then husband comes, and then husband says, she told a lie. She's complaining to Muhammad. Aisha already recognized that she was beaten. Husband comes in and then husband says, you are telling a lie. So my brother Godwin asked you the question, yet you did not respond. Are you okay for woman to be raped? Are you okay for woman to have a sex with someone which she doesn't give permission? That is ugly. Doesn't matter if it is Allah's divine law or not. It is ugly. It is ugly and wrong. There is a big movement called Me Too movement. Even they will be against Muhammad and they will be against Allah. You also attacked Christian marriage, sir. In Christian marriage is not like, oh, man and woman says, oh, let's spend 24/7 have sex. Christian marriage is all about sharing life together. Sex part of that marriage, but sex is not 24/7 in the core of Christian marriage. Please don't make those silly comments. It is ugly. Christian marriage is that high and difficult between the commitments. Ephesians chapter 5 tells us, therefore we take it seriously. We take it seriously. Sir, it's my turn. I'm going to give you time. I told you I'm going to give you time.
Can you divorce everybody?
Sir,
I asked the question.
Sir, that question already been answered. I am sorry that you didn't listen, Godwin, when Godwin was answering that question. When you have your time, you can respond it.
I couldn't listen to Godwin because it was too much to me.
Oh, I'm sorry. It hurts your feelings. It hurts my feelings when Muhammad was standing silent when this woman was beaten.
I went to the kitchen.
Christian husband must love his wife the way Christ loved the church. Therefore, godly Christian man would not beat his wife. Yet, people were, sir, I'm going to give you time. I already give you your second warning that I will hang up the phone.
It doesn't matter, really.
It doesn't matter what your prophet did. Your prophet took the value and dignity of human beings and woman away. Your prophet said, husband and wife, you cannot work out your issues. Therefore, wife needs to, it is the husband who is divorcing, yet it is the wife who must go and sleep around. Even she doesn't want to sleep around, but if she wants to go back to her husband, she must be sleeping around. Ugly and disgusting. Ugly and disgusting. I hope actually that you are telling those people those informations to the Muslims, that they know what they are getting into. Sister, can I just pass it to you and then you make your comments? I'm just noticing it's 23:43 here.
He mentioned me, saying that we misrepresented the hadith. When the gentleman assured us of his English that it was good, when he said, she said, I have done him no wrong, but he's impotent. When he said she told a lie, he was referring to the impotence, not the beating. Because he says straight after, she told a lie, I am very strong and can't satisfy her. He's saying she's lying about the impotence. He didn't say she has told a lie, I never beat her. He said she has told a lie, I am very strong and can satisfy her. He's talking about the impotence. Read the hadith. And then he went on, oh, I've exposed your lies. You see how you represent. And notice that he glossed over the beating. When I explained about the beating in the beginning, he glossed over that and he went on to talk about divorce and that what you have to do to get back to your husband, and that they were the woman was wrong. She was trying to put this act on so she can get out of the marriage and go to the first husband. And so the prophet said, don't play games with me. That's not what was happening. The woman was beaten, and he glossed over that. He glossed over that, and he, like his prophet, like the men at that time, today, this man was defending the man by saying she was a liar, just like the man said. He never beat her, which the man didn't say. He said she's a liar. I'm a strong person. I'm not weak, because she accused him of impotence. Nobody here, notice in the scenario, nobody here denied the beating. Where does it say there was no beating? Nobody denied the beating. They were just talking about the impotence, because there were a bunch of 7th century Bedouin savages. All they cared about was the sexual part of marriage, and reduced it to that. The prophet didn't say go and work out your differences. The prophet said, you want to go back to your first husband? Go sleep with this one. Not caring that she had bruises, not caring that she doesn't like him very much. The husband who just beat her, not trying to bring them together and say, live together in love and mercy. No, go sleep with him. Get out of here. All in front of the sons. What shame. What shame is this? They're talking about sexual things in front of your sons, whether your sons are old or young. And he's talking about their sex life in front of them. This man who's just speaking, I'm sure you're a reasonable person in every other aspect of your life. But when it comes to defending this religion that you're so emotional about, you become this unreasonable, illogical person who's trying to justify the unjustifiable. Please wake up. This is the person that you hold as your prime example. Are you serious? And you're glossing over the beating. Why? You need to wake up, sir.
Gazmin?
Yeah, as I said, I think obviously you both put it very well, and there's not too much to add. But the other thing I just wanted to ask our friend, I think his name's Absolute Truth, is would you, as a follower of Prophet Muhammad and Allah as your God, would you be okay with having sex with somebody who says, no, I don't want to have sex with you?
Say it again.
As a follower of Muhammad, your prophet, yes, just like this man, Abdul Rahman, who Muhammad commanded him to, or told him to go and have, told the two of them to go and have sex. Would you, I'm speaking about you personally, would you go and would you be comfortable by having sex with someone who's saying no to you, who doesn't want to have sex with you, would you be comfortable about having sex with a woman who doesn't want to have sex with you?
I would have divorced her right there, and she would be going to looking for another husband.
Right, but this is what your prophet commanded, right?
Now, I would have divorced her right in front of the prophet. I would have said, I divorce you because the only reason why you married me was to use me, so you can go back to your ex-husband.
But do you see my point? My point is this: is that you have better morals than your prophet, because your prophet has commanded this man to go and have sex, or to the two of them to have sex.
No.
You know in your mind that you wouldn't do that. You divorce her, but you wouldn't have sex with her, right? But you know it's rape.
Goodwin.
Yes.
Goodwin. Let's read here. Let's read what the prophet said. Then the prophet says, then the prophet saw the two boys. No, where is it? Allah's messenger said to her, if this is your end. No, Hatem, don't take it off. Hatem, let me read it. I'm reading it, please.
It's on the screen, sir.
Okay, now you just got it back. The prophet said, if, this is the prophet speaking, if this is your intention, if your intention is just to use the man, then know that it is unlawful for you to remarry your ex-husband. He's just telling him the rule. If this is the prophet don't know what's going on with a woman. He's just telling her, if your only intention is to marry this guy, to use him to go back to your husband, then know that you're going to have to consume the marriage. Because right now, I know you didn't consume it. I know you didn't have sex with him. Consuming a marriage, and Hatem talking about marrying. No, divorce. No, they're married already. Hatem, they're married. The marriage is already here, but the marriage is not consumed. You got to make a difference between marrying somebody and consuming the marriage. And even that, the consequences are different. If you marry somebody and you never had sex with him, if you divorce, there's different consequences. Like another man, let's say if I marry somebody and I divorce without me and her having sex, somebody else that the marriage would be prohibited to, if I would have had sex with her, wouldn't be. Now that prohibition wouldn't be existing. Let's say I'm here right now in the United States, and somebody in England. We talk and we agree we was in love, we met somewhere else, but we never had sex. Then we married. We can marry distance. We can go, people can go to the mosque and then tie the marriage. We married, but we never met yet. We never met after that yet. We met before, we never had sex, but we never met after the marriage yet. After the marriage was said. Now, if we divorce, there's different consequences. You don't have to wait for 4 months and 10 days. You don't have to, no, or none of that would exist. So Prophet Muhammad is telling them, Goodwin, if you want to be truthful, you understand what I'm trying to say. They tried to use the man and the Prophet understood it. They was trying to use a guy, an innocent guy that never beat her. He said, I never said, and the lady said that he was responding not to the beatings. Nobody said beating. The husband never heard of beating. The woman never said beating. In the hadith, the woman never said I was beaten. The husband never heard of anybody saying that he beat her. Come on now, guys. That you facing it. But he knew.
So can I ask a question?
Once, let me just finish. Because I gotta address you too. I address her and thing, and then you came up with something.
No, I'm just gonna ask something about you just said.
Earlier, you asked me a question. Earlier, you asked me a question about
backup question, sir. You don't need to lose it.
Remember? Earlier, you asked me a question about you asked me now. I got two questions for you because you asked me a question about.
I'm gonna ask clarification question if that's all right.
Yes, go ahead.
Can you have you got any verse from the Quran which can give you the definition of the marriage you are giving it to me? That marriage is marriage without sex. Can you just point that verse to me so I can check it out?
It's a bunch of verses.
Just give me one of them. Give me one of them.
It's a bunch of verses. I don't have them in my mind like that, but I know it's a bunch of verses in the Quran that says, if you divorce And when Allah said, this person can remarry her if the marriage was not consumed, if you didn't have sex. But if you had sex, no, now the marriage is prohibited between them two.
So you don't know the reference.
Like that a lot in the Quran. Every Muslim knows it. Every Muslim knows it. There's conditions of, it's a distinction between consumed marriage and not consumed marriage.
So can I get the reference, please, sir?
You waiting, she knows it. The Arabic lady knows it. She knows it. You know, there's a difference. If we had sex, there's a chance that we might have a baby. So it's different. Now, if we divorce, you gotta wait for 4 months and 10 days before you till we know for sure that you're not gonna have kids of mine. So, but if you never had sex, you don't have to wait that, for the period. It's gotta be different. It's gotta be different between married people who had sex and married people who don't have sex. That's normal. But because if you had sex, there's a chance that you might be carrying a baby of mine. Islam took care of that. So we don't need to discuss that. It exists, it's all over Surah 4 and Nisa. It's all over Surah 24. It's all over the Quran. It's all over Surah 2. But I don't have the actual verses in mind. But yes, I can send it to you later on. I can put it in this video and show you all the verses related to that.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, but now I want to respond to you about.
Sir, please do send the references through email as info@DCCI Ministries, because I don't follow the YouTube comment, so I wouldn't know if you leave a message. If you info@DCCI Ministries, so I can get the references. I would love to know where Allah says marriage is marriage without sex.
If you ask her, she can tell you. I'm sure she knows. The sister here, I'm sure she knows. I swear, I'm sure she tell you.
Well, if you trust me so much, why did you ignore all of the points?
I know you know. I know you know.
No. First of all, there's nowhere in the Quran.
You know the Quran. You know the Arabic.
No.
You read
I know, and that's why I'm telling you right now.
It's not bad, but that's fine.
It's not good. This hadith is not good. Again, you gloss over the beating. You gloss over it and start talking about marriage.
I did not. You got to listen to the whole domestic. Okay, now let's do this.
Violence.
Let's see. Me and you are married.
Oh,
okay.
This is so bad.
I might be marrying her. Who knows? I might. Shit.
Sir,
I might.
Sir. Even
just let me talk, please.
Even thinking or imagining that is very, very wrong. Since we just understood your understanding of Surah 230, since we understood your understanding of this hadith, even imagine, for the sake of the argument, for you to marry with, especially Christian sister, not anyone, but Christian sister, it is very dangerous. Let's say, sake of the argument, we don't even go there. So I'm gonna give you maximum 5 minutes for you to make your closing points, and I will hang up on you.
Damn, you can hang up on me. Why did you let me hang up, Hatun? Why are you being so rude?
Sir, I'm giving you 5 minutes to make your points, and I'm gonna finish the phone conversation with you.
Okay, thank you. Sister, you see what I was talking about? The Arabic sister. All right. Hatun,
no, sir, I'm not here to back you up. Please make your points and leave.
I mean, but you heard it though. I'm sure you was like, "Wow, Hatton, don't talk like that."
You're trying to score cheap points against my sister, and you have no argument. So please make your argument and leave.
Sister, it's fine. I'm giving him like 4. He's got 4 minutes now because I'm gonna hang up at 12 o'clock. So
okay. Oh wow, now it's 4, and you spoke for 1 minute. Okay, you asked me a couple of questions. At first, you said about the witnessing, right? You said I told you about witnessing. Allah is asking for witnesses for women accused of fornicating. Before they beat them for 100 lashes, because if you got caught fornicating, it should be 100 lashes. Allah said before that, you need to bring 4 witnesses. And it's not like 4 witnesses at the same time. And people misunderstood that verse too. Allah is saying, you're going to have to do it 1 time and have 1 witness, and do it again and have another witness, and do it again and have another witness, and do it again and have another witness. That's what Allah is not talking about 4 people witnessing her husband having sex with somebody else. No, you talk about you have to do it to make sure that you're really bad, that it was just an accident that happened, that people might be just being in some kind of situation and having sex. I'm just saying my understanding of that verse. My understanding of that verse saying that the witnessing part is for people accused. You need to bring 4 men that saw her fornicate, sleeping with another. Sleeping with a man, with another married man or another man, for her to be beaten. So this is to protect the woman. This is not to now for the rape. If you said I am raped, no, it's going to be right. Back then it's going to be hard. You know, they're going to have to look for something. I don't know. They're going to have to check you if you did it or not. But right now it's all some DNA stuff checked. If it is checked, you're going to jail. And no 4 witnessing, 5 witness or 2 witnesses. No, you only have to say it. If you can prove it right away, that's good. If you can prove it, they're going to do some medical things to figure it out, and the man is going to jail. And no 4 witnesses or nothing like that.
Does the prophet say? Does the prophet say get DNA?
Huh?
Does the prophet say get DNA? Wait, what are you?
Back then it was different. I'm saying now. I'm saying back then it was different. It was investigation. Ask the man and see his reaction and stuff like that. If it is true.
Do you have any reference? Do you have any reference for the reaction thing? What you said?
What I'm saying is there is.
What is the reference? You want the reference?
That's what I'm saying. It was available.
No,
Christians and Muslims and Hindus, everybody was living the same thing. It was back then hard to prove things.
Reference for the right.
We don't need to. Please let me. I got 4 minutes. Let me speak my 4 minutes, and then you
got 1 more minute, sir. You've got 1 more minute. I can do it.
But Harden gonna go. You know, gonna let you do whatever you want to do. You know, that's how it is. You know, that's Christianity. You know, we do what we want, but you know, anybody else is gonna have to cut him off. Cut their.
You've been here for an hour. What do you mean cut off? You've been here for a whole hour. Please, sir. No.
Sister,
yeah, keep doing it.
Sir, you've got less than a minute. Yeah. Just be aware of it.
Okay. Just to conclude all of this, everybody in the world condemn anybody that violate, that beats, that do anything to a woman or a woman to a man, and no violence whatsoever. No religion is accepting it, you know. But if you're really looking into this hadith, you better be looking into your Bible. Your Bible is asking people
and
to
your time is up,
them.
Sir.
Well, yeah, I know you're gonna close me off because I don't talk about the Bible now. You know,
sir,
now
I gave you 5 minutes.
Your Bible is saying.
I gave you 5 minutes, sir. And my aim was I will finish it at 0000, and it is exactly 12 o'clock. Therefore, your time is up. As I told you, I'm gonna hang up on you. It is just your wrong timing that you decided to attack the Bible at the end. Usually Muslims attack the Bible at the beginning. So we gave you platform for 1 hour, 17 minutes, 54 seconds. So thanks for joining us, sir. As I told you, I'm gonna hang up on you.
No, let me hang up.
Oh, I think he finds this difficult when woman hang ups on him. Anyway, okay. Guys, I'm sorry, it's 12 o'clock. Actually, 1 minute past 12 o'clock. So, I want to first pass it to one of you guys. Can you just respond to the couple of points Muslim made?
Yeah.
Who wants to go first?
I just want to make.
Godwin needs to go to work tomorrow, sir.
Let Godwin speak first.
He's gonna miss his.
No, go ahead, sister.
It's very sad, extremely sad. This gentleman is trying to defend. He tries to gloss over the beating and says nobody in the world now is okay with beating. But obviously, it goes against his prophet. If he says that we picked a very weak hadith, we should have picked another hadith. Plenty of hadiths talk about beating. Muhammad himself, the prophet of Islam, he ordered the beating of women in a different hadith.
This is Sahih Bukhari, by the way, sister.
It was Sahih Bukhari as well. So obviously, everybody in the world condemns beating except for Prophet Muhammad.
But I think, in a sense, it is a good thing, because 21st century Muslims are condemning the teachings of their prophet. That's the process. So they already give up on Muhammad. Very soon they will give up on Quran. Yet he was trying to justify Surah to 230. But like step by step, now they give up Muhammad. They want to look at the Western laws. They give up on teachings of Muhammad. Because like if you think more practically, Sharia doesn't give you right to not bring the witnesses, all those kind of things. So step by step, you start give up on the prophet, you start give up on the law, and then you will give up on Islam very soon, by God's grace.
By God's grace, and we pray for him. And then he talked about rape, and then he's starting being the modern prophet of today. Oh, you go and get DNA and find evidence. There is nowhere in where he actually ignored his religion, because his religion, the religion of Islam, he doesn't have any rulings on rape. That's why I kept asking for references. Where does it say anywhere in the Quran or the Hadith, if you rape a woman, this is your punishment? Where does it say that? Nowhere does it say that. And he says, ask the Arabic woman. She knows the Quran. She knows the Hadith. I'm glad that he's got so much faith in me. I do know the Quran and I do know the Hadith. And I'm speaking as somebody who's been on the inside. There is nowhere in the Quran or the Hadith that says anything about rape. Maybe because they didn't actually recognize rape as rape. Women were just used and abused. And then he says, talks about the Bible and Christian marriage. I would be damned if I ever entered into a marriage with an unbeliever, let alone a Muslim, because he can divorce me anytime, 3 times, a yo-yo back and forth, and then I have to go to somebody else to come back to my first family. No, a Christian marriage is a sacred covenant. You don't enter into it lightly. You don't come out of it like you walk out of the house, you open a door and then come out and then keep going back and forth.
Can I just make a comment on something, on the marriage and divorce? On the story of Zainab, Allah gives a solution for Muhammad's lust towards Zainab, and then Allah says, if husband doesn't need the wife anymore, then she's lawful to you. So according to the mind of Allah, according to the mind of Islam and Muslims, one morning husband wakes up and then says, oh, my lovely wife, from now on, I don't need you anymore. Therefore, I am divorcing you so that you go and marry with someone else.
Yeah.
Versus Godwin will wake up in the morning. First thing before he puts glasses on, he would say, oh, my wife, I love you so much. In Islam, husband wakes up and then says, oops, I don't need you anymore. It's like you bought something from Marks and Spencer, and then you just like, oh, I use this for 3 weeks. I don't need anymore. I need to get upgrade or something. Just like.
And the verse that you mentioned, sister, actually, it says, well, فَلَمَّا قَضَى زَيْدٌ مِنْهَا وَطَرًا, which means when Zayd has had his fill of her physically. It's just talking about the physical. Again, it's not talking about the behavior of the wife. I'd like very much to hear Muslims defend that.
You defend that. It's very ugly. Don't go.
Extremely ugly.
Anyway, sorry. Any other point you want to emphasize, sister?
I think we've sort of made a point. There's nothing more to be said here.
So, because there was an accusation of our misuse of the hadith and misrepresenting of the hadith, can you read it, the English version, as it is, so that those of you who are able to see what is on the screen, who have ears to hear, who have eyes to see, listen carefully, and then see the orders of the events in the hadith. What is happening, when is it happening, and what is the solution of Muhammad, so that we clarify that it was only Muslims are kind of finding it is difficult to put the event in the order. So can you read the hadith for us?
Yeah. Rifa'a divorced his wife, whereupon Abdurrahman bin Az-Zubayr al-Qurayzi married her. Aisha said that the lady came wearing a green veil and complained to her, as in Aisha, of her husband and showed her a green spot on her skin caused by beating. It was the habit of ladies to support each other. So when Allah's Messenger came, Aisha said, I have not seen any woman suffering as much as the believing women. Look, her skin is greener than her clothes. When Abdurrahman heard that his wife had gone to the Prophet, he came with his 2 sons from another wife. She said, by Allah, I have done no wrong to him, but he is impotent and is as useless to me as this, holding and showing the fringe of her garment. Abdurrahman said, by Allah, O Allah's Messenger, she has told a lie. I am very strong and can satisfy her, but she's disobedient and wants to go back to Rifa'a. Allah's Messenger said to her, if that is your intention, then know that it is unlawful for you to remarry Rifa'a unless Abdurrahman has had sexual intercourse with you. Then the Prophet saw 2 boys with Abdurrahman and asked him, are these your sons? On that Abdurrahman said yes. The Prophet said, you claim what you claim to the woman, i.e. that he is impotent, but by Allah, these boys resemble him as a crow resembles a crow.
Okay. Order is very clear of the hadith.
Yeah.
And people are expressing themselves very clearly.
Yeah.
Muhammad is expressing the solution is very clearly.
Yeah.
And Muslim speaker expressed the this is the background for the Surah 230 where woman get divorced and then she has to go and sleep with someone else.
Yeah.
That's just already like so ugly.
Yeah.
We can look at that like on another time, but if anyone wants to come to that session, you just need to make sure like you are over 18 or something.
Yeah, it's very ugly.
And probably by that time, sister, you just need to get those vocabularies, because the part on where husband says like I can satisfy her,
Yeah.
you didn't want to read it, but Muslim was upset that you didn't want to read that.
Yeah, he's like, he was upset that, oh, why didn't you go to the Arabic? And I didn't want to go to the Arabic because it was worse than the English. He actually shot himself in the foot by forcing me to say those words I didn't want to say.
Yeah, something happens when you start engaging with Muslims. As I told you, like in culture I come, first of all, you don't speak in front of man alone, like you speak in front of all the people about sex. You don't speak like, you don't have those kind of conversation in any form or shape.
Yeah.
But when you kind of start engaging with Muslims, you notice this is the language Allah is using and he's not ashamed of it. This is the language Muhammad is using. He is not ashamed of it. This is the language early Muslims are using and they are not ashamed of it. Therefore, I'll use it to expose the ideology of Islam. So as the time goes on, hopefully you will learn to pronounce those words. Godwin, how are you feeling, brother? So you are man. I am sure you will have better insight than us.
Nah, I didn't. Again, it just shows the contrast. You know, the stark contrast between you know, marriage in Christianity and marriage in Islam. It's just like, I mean, to be honest, it just sounds like a joke. I mean, obviously, you know, before becoming a Christian, you know, when you used to have like girlfriends or boyfriends or things, you know, when you know people would date just willy-nilly. That's what kind of, you know, you didn't take these kind of relationships very seriously. You know, if you were that kind of person, if you know went for one person, because it was just based on perhaps, you know, lust or just your principles or your values were a lot lower. But then when you enter into a godly marriage, it ought to trump everything else. It ought to be, you know, valuable. It ought to be for life. You know, it should be embedded in love. But you don't really see that in this. So you see a lot of I mean, the whole this hadith itself is just chaotic. It's just, you know, two angry people going at each other. The Muhammad comes in the middle. it doesn't make things any better. You know, there's violence, there's disrespect, there's rudeness, there's no sort of bringing it together. And this is meant to be in a godly setting, but it just, you know, even Aisha, who's meant to be one of the, you know, the Prophet's favorite wife, is just, you know, she's looking at this and she's saying this is horrific for our Muslim people. So, you know, but when again, you know, you just have to just compare it to the peace and the calm and how, you know, Christ, you know, desires for us to live in marriage, and you know the guidelines and you know the blessing that comes upon a Christian marriage. And I don't see how someone with their brain in there, you know, would want to enter into something like this, you know. And I wouldn't want this for any of my sisters or anyone that I know. So yeah, that's kind of just really what I mean, it's just kind of and it's very difficult, as I say, for a Muslim person to come and defend this. And that's why, as our sister was saying earlier, the guy kept glossing over the bit about beating and kept avoiding the main focus and trying to say no, it wasn't mentioned, beating wasn't mentioned, and without really dealing with, you know, this major issue. And as you said earlier, this isn't the only hadith that speaks about beatings. There's other hadiths, and you know, there's, again, you know, it's just really a big mess. And so that's why I just would encourage my Muslim brothers and sisters to really try, or really to put their faith in Jesus Christ. You know, put your faith in something that's firm, a solid foundation, something that can't crumble. Like, you know, you don't just get up and you just leave it, but something that's rooted in Christ. And you know, and you stand more chance of being successful. You know, so yeah, I think that's kind of really what I wanted to say.
Thank you. So it's after midnight here, and Godwin needs his beauty sleep. He's gonna go to work tomorrow. He's got family, and Daniel is already probably having his beauty sleep, and I've got life to go. And the sister has life to go as well. We will finish here, and then we can continue and have follow-up discussions on this. But it was only one hadith we looked at. What we see is we have a man who's supposed to be example to all mankind. It's quite okay for woman to be abused. Even his wife is like expressing concern, but man who's supposed to be example to whole mankind, it's quite okay for woman to be abused, quite okay for woman to have sex with someone who she doesn't want to, and husband doesn't get told off. It's like all ugly, it's all messed up. And it shows once again to us how much desperately, not only like Muslims who live in this part of the world, but Muslims wherever they live, they need to be aware of those teachings, and then they need to know the solution. You have an option to stay in this mess and be okay for you to be beaten, your sisters to be beaten, your wives to be beaten, your children to be beaten, your moms to be beaten and abused like that, because this is the divine order of Allah, and Muhammad, as the walking Quran, just follows those teachings. Or your other option is you can say, as Godwin and sister was saying, this is wrong and not acceptable. And there is a solution in that. Solution is Lord Jesus Christ. When we look at his teachings, he doesn't tell us, yeah, beat your wife because she thinks you cannot satisfy her. We don't have a God who says, gives power to man so that man can abuse and accuse woman. We have a God, his status, he loved the world so much that he gave his only son to die on the cross for men and women to be recognized to God. We have a God who teaches that husbands must love their wives the way Christ loved the church. Christ loved the church enough to give his life for the church. Godly men and women would love their husbands and wives the way God loves them. So there is a big mess, but there is a perfect solution for this mess. That is Lord Jesus Christ. He is perfect and gives us the perfect solution. And today he still stands as he's alive, even according to Islam. And that will be our end of evening. So we will see you on another live stream. And by that time, please remember, Jesus stands out as perfect, while Prophet of Islam stands out as not only messed up, yet he brings mess to the mankind. See you all.